Okay guys, I'm back at this trying to figure out why this 2013 Nissan, sorry about that, Nissan Altima SL, the headlights go bad on them, the low beams. The high beams seem to be fine. Well, as you can see, I took out every screw that you could take out of this thing and every clip, and I still had to beat the piss out of it to get it apart. So, this isn't how I would recommend taking something apart normally, but there was my disassemble tool, the old claw hammer. So I beat the piss out of this thing, and I got it out. And what I thought was this reflector, or this lens, on this projector lamp, which is the low beam. I thought it was clouded up, and actually it was a little dirty. I just wiped it off, and it's actually glass. So that's not the problem. I'll show you what the problem is. This piece, oh, for Christ's sakes, everybody's texting me while I'm trying to make a video. Anyway, listen, this is the problem right here. This is where your low beam would fit into, okay? And although there's some screws holding this thing apart, there's no way to replace it. And I don't know if you can see that or not. I'm trying to get a good view of it. See how that's burnt? And now that's after I sprayed it off with some 409 and wiped it off. It was actually very powdery looking, cloudy. I'm trying to get a little different angle there. Maybe if I stand on my head, it'll help. But anyway, you can see where it's chrome right there at the tip. That's what it was supposed to be the whole way. And that would reflect the halogen light into that lens that I just showed you, that convex lens, and that would shoot the light out, and that's what gives you your low beam. And when that gets ugly like that, it don't matter what light you put in there, because I put in HIDs in there and I tried LED. Nothing is bright enough to make that work when the lens is discolored like that. So that's the problem, and you can't just buy that piece, and even if you could, you couldn't get it in, because that's how you'd have to take it apart. So and another thing while I'm here, the adjustment on this thing, let me see if I can find that. Just so you know, well, I got pieces everywhere. There's the adjuster that you ultimately slide your screwdriver right down in that little slot there. Let me see if I can point to that. I don't have enough hands. You put your Phillips down in there, and it catches on that little stamped, I'm going to call it a wheel gear with teeth, and that raises the whole assembly. And when I say whole assembly, I mean this whole piece. So when you raise your low beams, your high beams are coming up with it. It all comes up. It pivots at the top. There's two spots at the top, here, here, and here, that it pivots at. And when you crank it, down here at the bottom is where this hooked. I already broke it off, of course. What that does is raise it straight up and down. There's no adjustment in and out on these. It's just up and down. And you do raise your high beam when you raise your low beam. So I found that these factory pieces that I put in were terribly low. And what I did was, and I don't know if I covered this in my other video. If not, I'm gonna be redundant. I pulled it up against a garage door on a nice flat driveway. And since the low beam has a, where in the hell to go? Let me see if I can find it here. Bear with me. There's a piece of metal. Well, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Here it is. This is it. So your light actually goes through this thing. And that's the pattern that the light emits. It's like a template, basically, the light going through. So you have a nice straight line, at the top where your line of your light goes through. Anyway, so if you pull your headlights, your car, right up against the garage door, don't smash the damn garage door in, for crying out loud, but pull it up close, get two pieces of painter's tape, and put a piece of painter's tape at the top of the light, the horizontal line of each headlamp. And if you're having problems distinguishing between the two, you probably won't when you have it pulled up that close. I was going to say you can throw something like a cover or something, or a sleeping bag, or whatever you got set on the other damn light, I don't care, so that you can individualize them. Anyway, then go ahead and back up straight about 25 feet, and you can count it off as, like 8 good steps. And that light, that line on that garage door should only drop about an inch or two. It should not drop more than that. If it's dropped more than that, you need to raise those beams up. So, because basically, your headlights, your low beams are designed to be level, horizontal with the road, so to speak, and then down about a degree or two. And that's what keeps them from blinding other people. Now, a lot of people will set the passenger side low beam up just a little bit higher than the driver's side, because that one kind of shines off into the field a little bit and gives you a little more clarity for, like, you know, animals or deer or whatever coming out of the corner of your eye on the right hand side. So anyway, that's what's going on with these headlamps. You might as well replace the whole schmeal. Here's the other one. I'm not going to take it apart, but that's, you know, that even though this outside looks pretty good, it's the reflective coating in this cone right here that is causing it to be actually dangerous, I would say. So anyway, get yourself a pair of those, and the other video that I have listed shows you how to take it out of the car and replace it. And although I didn't actually do it in front of the camera, I'm pretty sure I covered everything that you have to take apart. And it's not that hard of a job, but, you know, give yourself a good day or a weekend to do it if you're not familiar with cars. If you're, you know, I could probably do mine. If I had to do it again, I could probably do it. And I'm going to say 2 hours, have the front end clip off, have the new lights in and back together. But you know how it is when you do something like this. You know, I'll never probably put these in another 2013 Altima. It'll be a different car or, you know, a different job, whatever. So you never really can retain all that information. The only thing you can do is just kind of be educated in what you're doing and take your time, and don't beat the piss out of it like I did this one. You know, when you're putting the thing back together. All right, guys. Hope this helps, and until the next video, have a good one.